to Fringe Fanatics with Chad Lee and Chris Zane.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. That is right. Fringe Fanatics, episode 102. I am Chris Zane.
And I'm Chad Lee. Thanks for tuning in.
Yes, as always, we greatly appreciate each and every one of you tuning in each week. It means the world to us, and keep those views going up on YouTube. I just saw we reached 45,000 views.
Yeah, I
on
got
YouTube.
that email too. That was awesome.
Pretty impressive for little old us, so we greatly appreciate everybody that tunes in on YouTube. It means a lot. And speaking of which, this will probably be our last week streaming solely on Twitch. It does kind of seem like we will probably get a little bit better traction on YouTube because that is where the majority of our subscribers and stuff are. And rather than deal with multi-streaming and stuff, while I do appreciate everybody that's followed us and tuned in on Twitch, it just seems more beneficial for us to move to YouTube. So moving forward, starting next week, we will be primarily on the old YouTube. So make sure, if you haven't yet, to subscribe to it.
That's right.
Then anytime we go live, all of our almost 100 follower or subscribers on YouTube will get notified, which if you haven't yet, again, we're 3 away, I think.
Yeah.
Or no, they're 6 away. We're at 94. So if you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button. We'll get to 100. That's going to put us up in the algorithm better, you know? And then the more views... Soon we'll hit 100,000 views, and then we're going to be doing this full time.
That's right.
That's the goal.
The plan.
But it is episode 102, and as we have kind of changed now that we hit the century mark, we are now doing This Day in Sports.
That's right.
I think I took the lead on the last one, so I'm going to let Mr. Chad Lee take the lead on this one.
Yeah, I found this really good website that's called it's called like Today in Sports or something like that. It was.
I think it's like just This Day.
This Day. Yeah,
dot,
I was trying to think like that's onthisday.com.
Yes.
Yeah, it was really fascinating because, I mean, man, there were so many options to choose from all throughout the years.
Not just sports.
Yeah, I
Everything.
mean, well, this one was just sports. Onthisday.com was just nothing but sports. There was all kinds of different news, but I chose in 1920, future Baseball Hall of Famer slugger Babe Ruth becomes the first to hit 50 home runs in an MLB season with a first inning blast off Jose Acosta in a 2-1 loss to the Washington Senators.
You know, it's funny because I also, this is where I got the first one from as well last week, and I was literally about to paste it into our rundown, and I was like, oh, Chad already did.
Oh, nice. Fantastic.
So, yeah,
I
nice.
went through, dude, because it went all the way from like early 1900s all the way up till present. And I
kind of figured this one was also pretty apropos for the fact that we are going to be talking about another club, you know, that got started by Mr. Shohei himself.
That's true.
The next Babe Ruth.
I'm excited to talk about that.
The Asian persuasion Babe
That's
Ruth.
kind of why I chose this one. You know, we're going to go a little heavier on baseball this episode. If you guys aren't into baseball, whatever, fast forward, don't listen. It's all good.
No, please listen and subscribe.
But, yep, it's pretty awesome. Babe Ruth, legend.
Yeah, he is a legend, as we all know.
First to hit 50.
The great Bambino, the first to hit 50. Was a star left-handed pitcher to begin with and became one of the greatest hitters. I mean, the guy did everything. John Goodman played him in a
That was a good movie.
It was a pretty good movie.
The Babe, I think is what it was called, right? Yeah.
So, as always, I think now until Shohei Ohtani will we see some of his prowess finally be put to the test because Shohei's on the way, man.
Mm-hmm.
Shohei is the way.
Yeah.
The way to Shohei.
Is the way.
Is the way.
Yep.
Yes.
He's the next one.
Yeah, he definitely is. So big ups to Mr. Baby Ruth, as they called him in the beginning on accident.
Cheers to the old legend Babe Ruth.
Cheers to episode
Movies
102.
like Sandlot, yes, episode 102. Climbing back to the next century mark.
Indeed. Well, Mr. Chad, I want to hear about your weekend.
Well, thank you. Well, you did come over on the weekend.
I
You
did.
got some
I was
work
here.
done.
Yeah.
Yeah, Friday night, we had a blast, man. We went to State House with Alex and Sarah Beal. That was a fabulous time. It was really good company, really good food, really good drinks. We had a blast with them. Really good people.
Nice.
Yep. Then Saturday, we just, as you saw, whenever you showed up, we were just being total couch potatoes.
No, I don't blame you. That's what Saturday is for.
Yeah, there's a bunch of new shows on Netflix and just like new stuff to watch that are kind of more horror, Halloween themed and stuff. So she's really been digging that.
You guys are already fully decorated over here?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, very much so.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. We're trying to scare off all the neighborhood kids as much as possible.
Or bring them in.
Yeah. Scare them off with, take some poison candy.
Oh, no, don't be giving out all the edibles now. God
Yeah.
forbid. You know, that's what's happening every Halloween. But
I can't even afford those anymore, man. They're so expensive.
Edibles are insanely expensive.
Yes, they are.
Well, what did you watch? Anything good on Saturday while I was up here toiling?
Yeah, we started that new Monsters show about the Menendez brothers.
Oh, yeah, it looked kind of weird.
It is pretty weird.
It looks like
it's made
like
by
a Lifetime documentary, kind of.
Mm-mm.
Like
Nope.
Lifetime Network.
No.
Yeah, it just looks like kind of cheesily put together.
Oh no, it's made by the same guy that did Dahmer, so it's very well done. But
I just saw the guy with like a bald cap on, and I was like, "Well, that looks cheesy as shit."
No, he was a guy that was bald, and his dad Javier Bardem. The cast is fantastic in it. I mean, Javier Bardem.
Clearly, my misconceptions were wrong from the get-go.
No, yeah, and that's just like whenever you see like an ad or something, a promo on Netflix, I could totally get that. But no, this was pretty good. These guys are the most spoiled brats ever. Spoiler alert: they killed their parents, and that's what
happened.
Yeah, I didn't really know much about this story.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no, not at all. So I'm kind of learning.
I forget what movie it was. Was it? Oh man, I almost want to say it was like Biodome or something like that. They made fun of the Menendez brothers, and I think no, it wasn't Biodome, but Ben Stiller was the Menendez brothers, and whatever this is that I'm thinking of, I can't remember.
Oh wow, yeah.
I'm gonna try and figure it out, but.
Okay. That would be pretty wild to see Ben Stiller or something like that.
It was like a joke. Like it was a cut scene in a movie that like it cut to like
That's
the Menendez
awesome.
brothers on TV, and it was Ben Stiller. So
Yeah. I mean, these guys are like so like posh and just annoying, but I'm kind of interested because it's going to lead into the trial and stuff, so I'm kind of interested in that.
nice.
Yep. Then Sunday, dude, it was amazing. Chiefs had Sunday night, so spent like 3.5 hours down in the basement, and then my fantasy teams killed it.
Mine didn't.
Yeah,
Mine killed.
yeah. You were
I'm basically. I got to change my name to where either QBs go to die, which would be like Cleveland. I might change it to the Cleveland. I don't know, the Browns.
Yeah, I don't know, something like that, man. Maybe the Chicago White Sox or something. That might work.
No, maybe.
Yeah, whatever quarterback you seem to get, they seem to get hurt.
Or they just do terrible. I'm not really sure what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, but no, in the DK league that I'm in, like I've said, it's against 31 other teams. You take on a team. I'm the Patriots, so I play their schedule, and so my high score was better than anybody else's in those 31 teams. So I got $50 back from that. If you're the high score for the week, you get $50. So that felt pretty good.
That is nice.
Yeah.
It's good to overachieve in situations like that, especially when money's involved.
Yeah, definitely.
That's good, man.
Yeah, and then we watched the Chiefs game here, and then we cooked up. We heated up some of the brisket that her brother gave to us, so that was cool.
Oh yeah, which he is like a prolific smoker of meats.
Yeah, he's award-winning barbecue competition smoker. So, yeah, that was fantastic. That was a good time, and then we're back at it, man.
Yeah, here we are again, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's episode 102, so good to be.
What about you? How was your weekend?
It was good, man. We we went out to State House after after I was here working on the show. So that was nice. You've been telling me about State House for a long time now, and I finally went in there and checked it out. I got the chicken sandwich, which you mentioned to do, which it was good. I liked it.
It's way better than like Chick-fil-A's or anything, huh?
Oh, it was for sure way better.
Yep. Yeah, really good.
But it was good, man. I dug it with that we were watching the Colorado game, the CU game
Oh,
was
sweet.
on. So
Yeah, that was
nice.
exciting. Yeah, my landlord was there.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, he
And
tailgated all day.
Nice, that's
Yep.
cool. So yeah, it was a good time, and I got some stuff done on the podcast. Got some things going. Like I said, we're going to be changing streaming services and stuff in terms of where we're going to be streaming live. But other than that, we've been watching some weird stuff on Netflix and stuff as well. We watched The Inheritance. I don't know if you've heard of that.
I haven't heard of that one.
A weird movie, and it has Simon Pegg on the front of it, and he looks the guy from Shaun of the Dead.
Yeah.
And he's got like a crazy wig on and looks wild, and I was like, I don't know what this is, but it looks like a dark comedy or something, and it definitely was not. It's a weird like thriller movie where this chick gets an inheritance and then finds out that her dad has this dude held hostage.
Oh shit!
Chained up in like a hole. And that's Simon Pegg.
Simon Pegg is the one chained up?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And then you find out all the shit as to why he's chained up.
Damn, that sounds good.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, Simon Pegg's good in everything.
It's leaving Netflix soon, so if you
shit.
haven't yet, make sure to go and watch it.
Yeah.
Or you might have to watch it other nefarious ways, download it illegally or something.
Right. That sounds pretty sweet.
Yeah, other than that... do have some big news, but I'll fill you guys more in on that next week. I haven't talked to Chad even about it, so it's...
Oh, wow. What's this?
It's exciting stuff. Well, wait. I'll tell you after.
All right.
I'll tell you after. We'll fill them after. But other than that, Sunday, I'm trying to think of what we did. Just watched a lot of football. Went over to my parents' house, watched the Broncos win a game for once, which was nice.
Yeah.
Other than that...
That was a huge upset they had, man.
They did. Beat up on the old Buccaneers, which I was pretty sure they were going to lose that game.
Yeah, me too.
I'm glad I didn't use Baker because he didn't do very well in that game.
Yeah, good call on that one, man.
But I used Derek Carr, and he also did not do very well. So I'm kind of screwed either way there.
You are the curse of QBs, man.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
But it is what it is, you can't be good all the time at fantasy. Everybody's got to have, even the best have off days or off seasons, and that could be what's happening this year. But it's still early. Things can turn around.
Very, very early.
Travis Kelce's still, working off the party weight from just living the life,
man.
Jet setting.
Not really
I think he's got me 15 total points this year.
Yeah,
so
sounds
far,
about right.
I'm looking real forward to that. Hopefully he'll pick that up soon. But
I sure hope so.
Other than that, yeah, this week's been good, man.
Nice.
Been good, yeah.
Hell yeah. Good to hear.
I was trying to think of what else we've been watching. A lot of weird stuff like the Worst Ex Ever, which I think we talked about last week, but that's always a crazy show. And Signs of a Psychopath, which if you haven't watched yet.
You guys watch a lot of psycho stuff.
Yeah, we are watching The Killers.
It's that time of the season.
So, yeah, indeed, indubitably. But anyways.
Well, shall we get to it?
We should, man. We should get into it. We should get all the way into it, deep into it. It's time to get into the headlines. So we'll do that right now.
Headlines! Get your headlines here!
Yeah, this has been a rip-roaring filled week of a whole bunch of news in the world of sports. This has been a wild week in the NFL. I mean, I don't even know how to explain how some teams are leading their divisions. It doesn't seem right.
It's awesome. I love it.
Yeah, it's the shakeup has officially happened in the NFL. So
the NFL is way better when it's unexpected like this.
Yeah, it's always nice too when you got a little bit of parity. You get some teams showing up that you wouldn't think. I mean, the Pittsburgh Steelers are in first place, which
nobody
is insane.
expected that.
Yeah, the Broncos have lost to 2 of the 3-0 teams this year.
That's that's a good sign.
Yeah. So I guess it means something.
Yeah, definitely. The Steelers were good. I didn't expect for them to win that game.
Yeah, no, it was a good one, man, and I think we are going to see a bit of stuff start leveling out as we get out of the first few weeks of everybody kind of warming up to the season again.
Yeah.
So looking forward to that happening, but it is time to get into the NFL, and Chad's going to be a little bit surprised by this one because some things have changed.
Whoa, what'd you do?
I did this.
Are you ready for some football?
Nice.
It's football, bro. It happens.
Did you like mix them together?
Yeah, I did all this.
Oh,
So
yeah.
this is one of the things I did on Saturday night. And
Oh,
we've
yeah.
got, Hank Jr. right now.
That's
going after it.
fantastic,
We'll probably
man.
get flagged for this, but it is what it is.
Hey.
It's from 30 years ago. I figured it might be like free reign now.
Right, yeah. It only takes a certain amount of time.
But yes, it is time for the NFL.
Well done.
Yeah, and we are here. It's week 3 just ended. We're heading into week 4. But what do you want to get into in terms of stories?
Well, what do you mean by Dan Campbell doxed?
Oh, you didn't hear about this, Chad. Well, one of Dan Campbell's daughter's classmates, a young gentleman, after their loss in the playoffs last year, posted on Snapchat and said, fucker went for it on 4th and 1 or whatever it was, and then posted his address.
Oh, yeah, I did hear about this.
And he had to move.
Yep.
Which is pretty wild.
Yeah, I don't know if he's moved yet, but he did post his house for sale.
Yeah. Oh, dumb fuck trying to go for it is what the kid said, and then
Damn.
put his address up there.
That's
so.
pretty dumb.
Yeah, definite bummer.
Yeah,
for him.
well, I mean, you look and it's like this guy's probably eating crow right now because one of the best plays from week 3 was when they ran that hook and ladder play. And Jahmyr Gibbs, my running back, got the touchdown. That was one of the best like executed trick plays I've ever seen. I mean, man, to be honest, like I just watched it over and over on Twitter, and all I could think I was like, shit, that was like filthier than a field full of nuns power squatting over cucumbers, man.
That's insane what you just said. That's
That's
power
all I
squatting
can-
over cucumbers.
That's filthy. It's just nothing but filthy.
They're not ribbed for her pleasure, unfortunately.
No,
They've got
cucumbers can
nubs
be
and-
spiky.
Yeah, they got little spikes on them. It
But
hurts.
man, I was impressed. That play call was so cool. St. Brown caught it, boom, dumped it off to Jahmyr Gibbs. So yeah, I mean, Dan Campbell, he's risky, but pulled off a win last week.
He did. It worked out in his favor, but it didn't work out after the playoffs last year, where he now has to move. So we'll see how that plays out. But yeah, apparently after that game, multiple people showed up to his house.
Oh, that's messed up.
After on the night of January 28th, and we're like trying to like break into his house.
Jeez.
Shit.
That's awful.
It's pretty wild.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyways, though, it is the NFL. What else did you want to get into in terms of headlines?
The headlines, well, there's a bunch of injury news. Derwin James got suspended. Did you watch the hit?
I didn't, but the NFL seemed pretty mad about it.
Yeah, I mean, I was really curious on it because the Chargers are going to be playing the Chiefs, and so I took a look at it, and I mean, he just clearly pulled the Justin Simmons, or not Justin Simmons.
Kareem.
Thank you, Kareem Jackson.
Kareem
and,
Jackson.
Pat Freiermuth catches the ball, he turns, Derwin James has all the opportunity in the world to, like, grab his body or just tackle him, but instead he just headbutts him. So, and, it's just like the Kareem Jackson thing to where when they see it enough, they're going to finally be like, we're watching you. And this is enough. And so he gets suspended. And more bad news for the Chargers. Their star right tackle, Joe Alt-Delete, I haven't heard what injury he has. Do you know?
I didn't hear what it was.
No, but he's going to be out for the foreseeable future. And then Rashawn Slater, their left tackle's out. Not looking good.
And their quarterback re-aggravated his high ankle sprain.
That's the other one, yeah. And I think Joey Bosa is a little banged up too.
Yeah, so the Chargers are dealing with some stuff. I mean, we've got a few QB shakeups possibly happening. Some aren't.
Yep.
The Raiders are saying that they are going to stick with Gardner Minshew as QB1. But it looks like the Dolphins are probably going to roll with Tyler Huntley this week. As he is going to be the quarterback is what I saw. So, but yeah, there was some pretty bummer injuries in terms like the Bengals lose their offensive tackle Brown for a year with a torn patellar tendon.
Orlando Brown?
Yep.
Wow.
Orlando Brown done for the year.
That's not good.
Big bummer for them.
Injury news all over the place, man.
Yeah.
And then news came out today. The Raiders are sticking with Gardner Minshew for the time being. And the other one we'll get into a little bit, but yeah, Bryce Young. There seems to be a big difference.
Yeah, apparently.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, the Panthers also put Thielen on IR with a
that's a good
hamstring
point.
injury, so that is a bummer as well.
Yeah. And I would expect Jordan Love's probably going to be back for this next game because he was pretty close to playing last week.
Yeah.
Yep. But other than that, what do you think of the 2 Monday night games last night?
They were pretty wild. I had practice, so I was only able to tune in a little bit. But that game between the Bengals and the Commanders was wild.
Yeah, that was a good game. No punts or turnovers for the first time since 1940.
Yeah, so that was
Unreal.
pretty wild. And Jaden Daniels looked good.
Glad I got him on my team.
Yeah.
He's good backup QB.
Nice backup QB. Maybe coming after him. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, that was a pretty entertaining game.
Yeah, and then, of course, Josh Allen and the Bills just annihilated.
I almost don't even want to talk about
the
it.
Jaguars, the Jaguars. They figured it out. They look better without Stephon Diggs.
Von Miller looks like the 2015 Von Miller.
Von Miller's looking decent.
Yep.
Got a couple sacks. But the other
Damar
side...
Hamlin got an interception.
Damar Hamlin got an interception on a terrible throw by
Trevor Lawrence.
Trevor Lawrence.
Horribly.
Yeah, he has not been playing good. It was kind of alluded to by Doug Peterson that there may be changes that happen.
Whoa.
And I don't know if you saw what Antonio Pierce said after the Raiders game,
That was
where he was
awesome.
like, some people made some business decisions, and we'll be making business decisions as well moving forward.
I like
and it's
that.
like, damn, dude, who was it? Who did it?
They were specifically talking about a couple of D linemen, I guess, that were like trying to take plays off because they're losing. They're not gonna try to injure their body and lose money or anything like that. So that's everything's caught on tape. The All 22 shows everything.
Yeah, it definitely does. And we're going to find that out moving into next week as to what roster changes happened. But we'll see how it goes.
We will.
We will indeed.
Shall we get into the Daily Dogs?
We shall. But we don't have a soundbite for it. So
That's
just.
fine.
So yeah, it is time for the Daily Dogs. I'm going to let Chad take it away.
All right. I'm going to start on the defensive side of the ball this time. All right. The Texans released in the offseason Jonathan Gennard, one of their best DNs. Who picks him up? The Minnesota Vikings with Brian Flores' defense. And man, did he ball out over the weekend. It was crazy because, this guy gets a revenge game. And you would think Danielle Hunter, Will Anderson on the Texan side, they would be the ones that's kind of like showing out, being the stars of the game. Dude, the Vikings defense stifled the Texans a lot of this game.
Yeah.
A big part of it was thanks to Jonathan Gennard getting his revenge game. So he had 42 snaps, pressure rate of 17.6 on 31 pass rush attempts, 3 sacks on the game, pressure the QB 6 times, tackle for losses 4, and I don't see how many total tackles. I think it was 4 total tackles. Yeah, but the guy totally wrecked the game. CJ Stroud was under duress the whole time.
CJ Stroud hasn't looked like the CJ Stroud of last year, needless to say, moving into this year so far.
Yeah, he hasn't quite lit it up yet.
No, and the Texans themselves don't look the best. But
They looked good that week 1 with Joe Mixon, but then without Joe Mixon, that's the key.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I'm not sure. I didn't see how long he was going to be out for, but it did look like the old dreaded hip drop tackle got him.
Yeah.
And
I think it's an ankle sprain or something.
the old high ankle sprains, which those ones last forever, unfortunately. But yeah, it's crazy to sit here and be looking at Sam Darnold and the Red Rocket basically leading the league in passing.
Well, and you got to handle a big hats off to Brian Flores for doing this, man. He totally stopped the 49ers when they came in, made them look like chunk change, and then the Texans come in, high-powered offense, and they couldn't get anything going.
No, and you're just surprised too, like with all of the weapons they have, to not be able to get anything done. But the running game this year has been kind of the key to unlocking the defenses and getting them to kind of bring those safeties up to where you can actually take advantage of the 2 high safety, cover 2, Tampa 2, whatever it's going to be. So
Right.
It's tough to do that when you can't run the ball,
But
which the Broncos have figured out it'll happen to you if you can't run the ball.
Yep, you got to be able to run the ball.
Yeah. Is that all you had for that one? Are you going to keep going?
Nope, that's it for Jonathan Grenard. He is this week's Daily Dog.
The next one,
Who's
speaking
yours?
of the Broncos, I'm going Homer pick here, guys.
Oh, yeah.
I might not have many opportunities to talk about the Broncos, so I'm going to talk about them right now.
Get after it.
And it's going to start with Mr. Bo Nix, who became the first player in NFL history to complete 25-plus passes with a completion percentage above 69%. He rushed for more than 45 yards and scored a rushing touchdown with 0 interceptions and 0 sacks taken in a single game, regular season or postseason. So hats off to him. The rookies seem to kind of get into a groove. I do think the Broncos running the Tampa 2 defense like they did in Tampa, although it is kind of like a slap in the face to run their vaunted defense against them, it worked perfectly.
Yep.
They had Baker out of sorts. Baker was completely under duress almost the whole game.
That right tackle being out makes all the difference in the world, man. Zach
Yeah.
Allen was just eating the whole game.
Yeah, he was. And they were getting pressure from the inside of the defensive line, from the outside, and the corners and stuff. Man, they played a hell of a game. I do think that we might have found another great white hope at corner for the Broncos.
Yeah,
there.
what's his name?
Riley. Oh, no.
It starts with an R, maybe, I think.
Damn it. Why can't I think of it right now? This is the beauty of doing a podcast and talking about these
Yeah, I
things
saw
on
where
the
he was
fly.
really shutting down out there.
I'm just going to type in Broncos white cornerback, and I bet it's going to pop up right away. Man. Riley Moss.
That's it.
I wanted to call him Riley Dixon because of the punter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but Riley Moss is looking legit. Even on the play he got beat on with Godwin for that touchdown, I mean, he had the perfect coverage. It was literally Baker put it in a spot that only he could catch, and Godwin made a good catch. So hats off to the defense, but Bo Nix, I am going to give the daily dog to this week because it is nice. We've been talking about a little bit these QBs getting thrown right into the mix of things. It's tough to overcome. I mean, even Patrick Mahomes got a year almost, 16 games sitting behind Alex Smith, and yeah, it's a tough thing to do. You realize how quickly the NFL is entirely different than college, and Bo Nix he's grown a little bit, and that's good to see.
And you look at these two. How many starts did he have? 68 in college, right?
61, I believe.
Okay.
At Auburn and Oregon.
I didn't realize that Jaden Daniels had so many too because he played at Arizona State for a couple of years.
Oh, and then transferred to LSU.
Yeah, so I heard today on ESPN he had like 58 starts or something like that,
similar
55
thing.
starts. Yeah, he had a lot of college
And
experience.
that's why I think
Look
a lot
at
of
these
people,
two rookie quarterbacks that are doing
they're the
best.
only ones succeeding.
It's the ones that have had the most experience.
Yeah, Caleb Williams, although he went over 300 yards.
But, dude, their offensive line is so bad.
And, the Broncos' offensive line, like I mentioned, and I'll be bringing up the offensive line after Chad takes over here in a bit, but Broncos' offensive line, 0 sacks, over like 130 yards rushing. I think the Broncos may have found a running back, and it's not Javonte Williams. Audric Estime, no. Jaleel, it's not Jaleel. It's Mr. Tyler Bidet.
I don't even know who that is.
Yeah, we all thought
Never
his
heard
name
of-
was Tyler Batty.
Oh, okay.
It is actually Tyler Bidet.
All right.
So
Yeah, now it rings a bell. When you said
yeah,
bidet, I was like,
yeah,
I don't know who that is.
He's got the power to clean all things away. You know what I mean?
Exactly. I was going to say, what a good last name.
Yeah, so that's pretty funny. But yeah, I mean, I was excited. The Broncos, we've been waiting for something good to happen.
Yeah, it's been
And
a long time.
That was a good game. I mean,
Yep.
that was probably the best game we've watched top to bottom in a year,
Hell yeah.
over a year and a half. Look
Thank
at that.
you so much.
We're getting
Appreciate
coffee
it.
delivered.
Thank you to the lovely Hannah.
Yes, Hannah, our drink deliverer. /
Yep.
I didn't want to call her a waitress. I feel like it's degrading.
It's all
you know?
good. She
God
is
forbid.
sometimes.
But yeah, that was my daily dog, Mr. Bo Nix.
All right,
man.
fantastic.
All right, Wango,
All right, I'm
Wango
gonna-
Tango, man.
Hit my offensive one, and I'm going to give it to the obvious Wait, let's back up real
Do
quick.
you want to back up? Hold on a second.
You hit the Brinks truck? No.
Let's back up.
Okay, let's back up to last week. We need to do that, like, show the clip from it or something, but I did post it. Where I predicted, when I heard Andy Dalton was going to be starting, that the Panthers would win.
Yeah.
And I didn't even know who it was against. If you remember seeing the clip, I was like, oh, they're going to beat the Chargers.
Oh, yeah, and then you're like, it's not the Chargers.
I was like, shit, no, it's the Raiders. Okay, they're going to beat the Raiders. Sure enough,
You
man.
called it.
And Andy Dalton, dude, 14 years in the league. And then the difference is I don't think this week they're going to have as much success because he went to Thielen a lot. He trusts that guy. Thielen runs great routes.
Old head to old head.
Exactly. This week, Thielen's on IR. I don't know how it's going to go. They're playing a little bit of a tougher team this week. But the thing of it is, Andy Dalton balled out. Over 300 yards, 3 TDs. He had 319 yards total. Completion percentage of 70.3%. This little insight right here off of NFLpro.com was pretty cool. So against the blitz, this just shows the veteran presence here. All right, the Raiders blitzed Dalton on 59% of his dropbacks, more than double their blitz rate in weeks 1 and 2, 25%. However, Dalton got rid of the ball in 2.02 seconds. That's like Tom Brady range. On an average, the blitz to negative pressure. Dalton was most efficient against man coverage, completing 16 of 20 for 184 yards and a touchdown. Dalton also completed more passes of 10-plus air yards, 6, than Bryce Young did in weeks 1 and 2 combined. It was a totally different Panthers team out there, man.
No, and it looked way different. I mean, they were saying last week Bryce Young just looked lost. Like
he has, man. I mean,
like they're like on the sidelines, like he just looks like a broken little kid, and it doesn't help that he's 5'7",
small. Yeah. And even when he's throwing the deep ball, he's overthrowing him. He's panicking. He just isn't seeing the field. But I was watching that game through Red Zone, and I mean, the Panthers, dude, he was lighting it up. Andy Dalton, dude.
Yeah.
He's the Red Rifle.
Yeah, I prefer the Red Rocket.
You can call him what he wants, but that's his nickname.
It's red. It goes fast, but Red Rocket, Red Rifle, Red Rover, Red Rover. That old game you can't play on the old schoolyard anymore. Do you remember that game, Red Rover?
Oh yeah, definitely, man. Clotheslining people.
Yeah,
yeah.
You just run together. In
no
a line.
way you could play that these days.
Yeah, it was wild, dude. It got crazy out there on the playground.
But he goes in there, takes that team that has it. They were 2-14 or 2-6. What am I saying? 2-15 last year, and
0-2.
They actually hadn't put up an offensive touchdown in quite some time. And then goes through there and beats the Raiders. That team had just beat the Ravens.
Yeah. Well, and until last night, he was the only QB this year to have 300 yards passing and 3 touchdowns. He might still be the only one because I think we were trying to figure it out how many total yards Josh Allen had last night. I think you said it was like 240 something.
That was the last time I checked. Let me. I'll look it up. But
they kept playing. He's got more yards now.
Yeah, I think he stopped playing in the fourth quarter.
That's true.
Like that.
Yeah,
but,
they did pull him
He had
early.
247.
Okay.
4 TDs by halftime.
Okay, so this stat still rings true. Mr. Andy Dalton was the only QB to have 300 yards passing and 3 touchdowns, and he did that in the first half of that game, which is pretty wild.
Yeah, Josh Allen finished with 263.
Because I'm pretty sure I'm trying to think of how many actual touchdowns the Panthers have this year. So he's probably doubled the output of the offense in one half.
Yeah, seriously. But hats off to you, Andy Dalton. Playing damn good football. That's like a little dog. Hell yeah.
So my other one, and this one's kind of a given, but I kind of alluded to it with the offensive line of the Broncos, but I'm giving one up to the big dogs, the dudes in the trenches, the Baltimore Ravens offensive line, and I'll tell you why. Because the team total for rushing on 45 carries, 274 yards.
Jeez, man.
Yeah. So Derrick Henry accounts for 151 with 2 touchdowns. Lamar Jackson, 87 yards rushing with 1 touchdown. Both of them had rushes over 10 yards. Derrick Henry, the long of 29. But yeah, the Ravens went out there and put a hurting on the Cowboys. The end score of this game does not really allude to how badly the first half was. Because I was pretty sure Jerry Jones was about ready to come out of the box and go down and take the ball from Dak Prescott. Man, let me show you how it's done, buddy.
I love that reel. I don't know if you remember, I shared it a couple weeks ago. No, I think it was just a week ago after they got blown out at home. And it's seen from, I think, Casino, where Joe Pesci's talking to somebody. He's like, I want my money back.
Oh yeah,
I want my fucking money back.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's got it. And that was the text over the reel. It was like, this is Jerry Jones after Dak just getting blown out.
Well,
man.
and CD. I mean, they just paid both of them big money, and they were not very happy with one another on the sideline.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw that.
A lot of miscommunication.
But CD at one point was talking. I don't know if it's a lineman or who, but he was talking to him, and Dak walked up, and I'm not a lip reader, but it almost said, like, man, I don't give a fuck what you're saying. Get the fuck out of here right now. Like, I don't want to talk to you. So
I love to see that, man.
Things aren't good.
I hate the Cowboys. But
America's team may be imploding from the inside out.
well, they have been devoted, however you want to put that, vetoed as America's team as of, I think, 2 years ago. But, dude, I'll accept this Daily Dog. I think they definitely did it. They just ran all over them. But this was against a team, the Cowboys, that is now the worst run defense in the league.
We didn't know that.
No, we did. If you take the first 2 weeks into consideration, the average.
I was trying to give them the benefit of the doubt.
No,
with
we
the
are.
Preseason
That's what I'm
at the
saying.
beginning of the season. So you know what I mean? It's the preseason beginning season.
The first 2 games in the
Just kinda
year.
fucking just throw it up. It's
they're
really
just-
a 15-game season with the 2 being like, I don't know.
Well,
That's why the Steelers aren't going to continue to be unbeaten. We know that for a fact.
that's
but-
why in my DraftKings league, I in the afternoon lineups, I got $15 because I put a lineup into a big contest, and I started Derrick Henry, Isaiah Likely, and Lamar Jackson, and I got like $15 off that, dude, just because I knew they were going to go crazy off of him, man. And here's
Likely
the reason
didn't
why.
have a big game, did he? Though?
No,
It
he
was
only got like
probably
a
8 or
few
9
points.
yeah.
But I knew they would run all over him because earlier in the week, Jordan Phillips got hurt at practice. And then they had another D lineman that got hurt. I mean, they were just decimated on the D line.
Well, they're not even decimated on offense, and they can barely score points. Like, they got a bunch of garbage time points after the Ravens were like, we're murdering.
Dude, and I like what Lamar Jackson said.
And
because
murdering and Ravens also goes together because that's what you call it. Oh, that's crows. It's a murder of crows.
close.
Shit,
I mean,
fucking
Ravens and crows,
idiot.
they're
They're like
cousins,
the same bird.
pretty much.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, but it's all good.
That's okay.
Let's move to some college football, Chris.
Let's do it, man.
These Buff fans got to be pretty happy.
390. Check. Check. Red 18. Red 18.
Needle dick.
Needle dick. Needle dick.
God.
Your name is Needle Dick.
Yeah, I do like. I'm not gonna lie. The NFL one does sound way cooler. I'm gonna try and put some stuff together.
All right, we'll figure something
No,
out.
we will.
Yeah, it's
We
all
will.
good. But man, yeah, let's start with the number 1 team in the country.
The CU Buffs.
Yeah. By box office standards, yes,
Yeah.
that's for sure.
If you
man.
look on ESPN, yes, they are the number 1.
when he
team in
threw
the
that Hail Mary, I was like, this is it. I'm just waiting for this
Dude,
ball
they
to
did
get
it
knocked
twice.
away. Yeah.
They just put, and we're digressing right now, but they literally, and they even said it after the game, Travis Hunter said, I'm going to just line up on one side, go
Yeah.
to the other side.
Yep.
And it worked twice, back to back. I mean, dude, what's his name? Not, I think Webster caught it, but the kid before, that ball hit him in the chest as he jumped up with nobody behind him. It hit him like right here and bounced off, and he's like, no, and I was like,
know.
no way.
It was just right there, man.
But I must say, rolling to your left, basically throwing across your body and to place that ball where he did. Oh my
How, man?
Oh my god!
And the way he played, it's just
he put it to where the guy didn't get killed by the
unbelievable.
safety coming across.
Yeah.
He put it away from the cornerback. I was just like, oh my god!
The
That
way
was
he
sick.
scrambles around, it's
He
just
has
like
to.
you know. And the
He
thing of it
has
is,
to.
he looks just like Jaden Daniels, like his physique, like his body size. So I think but I would just recommend. I think he just needs to put on like 10 pounds of muscle.
And I guess he did this year. I guess he bulked up some because he got so annihilated last year.
He's been getting hit a little bit this year, but man, his talent is just insane.
Yeah.
Sure, we're talking about Shedeur Sanders. By the
Sorry.
way, we never even said the name.
Yeah. Oh, we don't need to know. We all know who he's talking about. But yeah, that was insane. We're gonna touch on that a little bit more, but let's get into the
Wait.
what?
Well, so you want to
wanna
talk
talk
about
to number
Texas?
one?
Let's just go over to CU real quick because I want to talk about Travis Hunter, man.
You mean Heisman Trophy winner Travis Hunter?
Yeah, this guy is playing 125 snaps a game,
Averaging that.
Yeah.
I think he played 140 that
Jeez.
night.
Yeah,
He also, let's see here, he had the play that sealed the game, which everybody was giving him shit because he doesn't tackle. That was one of the best tackles I've seen.
put
on the
his
goal
shoulder
line.
right on the ball.
Fumbled the ball. They recover it in the end zone. Game over. But not to mention, I think he's now got 6 games of over 100 yards going back to last year.
Yeah, he had like what was it, 8 catches, 113 or 130? I think it was 130 something. But I mean, it's just insane where you see offense, defense, what he's doing. I mean, he had an interception last week.
Yeah. I mean, this guy is literally the best football player. I mean, we kind of were in the beginning, the end of Dion. We didn't get to see Bo. But this is next level shit. I mean, we're talking about a guy who's literally, I mean, you look at, who else was it? Because Champ Bailey was one of them in college.
Woodson.
Charles Woodson. Yep, those are the two. They played sparingly.
Yeah.
I mean, there was like a couple plays.
That's the difference.
That they're like, put Champ in or put, Charles Woodson in, and we've got a couple plays. No, this guy is legit playing both sides of the football and one of the best on the field at the time.
No doubt. One of the best wide receivers on offense and then the best cornerback out there, too. I mean, when he gets the ball, it's electric.
Yeah, I mean, anytime you watch, I mean, the catch against the first game of the year.
God, that catch
one
was
where
nuts.
he caught it around the guy.
Oh, North Dakota State.
State, he caught it. Crazy touchdown catch versus North Dakota State. Caught it around the guy.
Yeah.
Which I've never seen before.
He just you couldn't really even see his body. You just see his hands just come up. And he had another one, I think, another one of those catches in this previous game. I don't get it, man. I don't know how he's that talented, but it is pretty cool when you hear. You never know how true this stuff is, but when you see his talent on the field and you see how hard he works, you got to kind of believe it. But they say he has said, I don't like to party, I don't like to drink, I just like football, and so it really shows it out there on the field.
Yeah, and it's crazy too because right now I think he leads the team in receiving yards and interceptions. I'm trying to think of where he ranks in terms of like FBS stats.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because I mean, he's the number 2 overall player in this is from 2022. My bad. But I mean, basically, right now he's, I think, a lock to win the Heisman. I think Shedeur.
Oh, I don't know about a lock. I mean, because the thing of it is, they're gonna have.
Here's
the argument.
Barring injury.
No.
Because I think if he plays the full year,
barring the losses, okay, because
I don't
they're
think
gonna
it matters the same as it does for a QB.
Yes, but the difference is, it's like perception wise, okay. They're going to finish the season probably 500, maybe 1 or 2 games up. I'd say they're going to win 5 games.
If they get a bowl,
this year.
He's going to win.
Yeah, but the thing of it is like
6 games. Basically.
Take that. Who a guy that we're going to talk about here in a second, Arch Manning, even just missing the first couple of games because he's going to back up Quinn, and Quinn's going to come back, so we can't talk about really Arch Manning.
I think Quinn could have come back this week, maybe.
Yeah, Quinn's because
I
they
told
said
you,
it's
I think
not
he got
that
Wally
serious.
pipped. I think he got Wally pipped.
I said he ate some bad Chinese food.
Well, he got Wally pipped. It's regardless. He's done.
Either way, that's going to be the talk.
And that was the Heisman leader. Let's not forget to mention that. Quinn Ewers was like Vegas's lock to win the Heisman if he played the whole year. But yeah, let's move on to Mr. Manning 3.0. I call him that because he is the 3rd generation of Mannings. You got Arch. You've got
it's a fitting name.
Cooper. You've got Peyton. You've got Eli in the 2nd, and now 3.0, Mr. Arch Manning, who, might I add, had a little bit of a rocky start. Threw an interception. Didn't look good.
Oh, I didn't know that.
In the first going of this game. But, man, he turned it around.
Didn't they end up putting up 51?
I think so. I wanted to look at it because I started just focusing almost entirely on the CU game because it was so intense there going down to the end. But I want to see where they're at.
Is that Texas?
Yeah.
Oh, they're number 1.
Well, I know they're ranked number 1. I mean, a lot of people had them ranked number 1 last week.
Yeah.
But
I'm trying to look at the schedule coming up because I'm pretty sure it's this week that Alabama plays Georgia. They play Texas plays Mississippi State.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and they weren't going up against a great team, you know what I mean? Like
no, yeah, Louisiana Monroe.
So like they should have won.
Yep. Yeah. Number 4 Alabama versus number 2 Georgia. 5:30 Mountain Standard Time. ABC. I'm gonna try to give her a pass to go get her nails done or something like that because I want to watch that, dude. I love SEC football. Yeah, I mean, I'm a Big 12 guy, but dude, it's like looking right now. I'm pretty sure I was trying to like tally it up. There's 6 teams in the SEC in the top 6. Texas, Georgia, you got Alabama, Ole Miss is 6. I'm trying to see like rankings. Let's see if I find that. But it's just like the SEC's always dominated, but this year it's just unrivaled. And they're going to get 4 or 5 spots in the Big 12. Yeah, here we go. Texas, Georgia, then there's Ohio State, the Big 10, Alabama, Tennessee, and Ole Miss. They have 6 teams. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 of the top 6 teams are from the SEC.
Which is not surprising.
But in the top 6, I mean, Tennessee's never been that high. That's the highest they've been, I think, in 15 years, I think I heard.
Well, let's just give a little rundown of Arch Manning's first game stats.
Yeah.
So 15 for 29, 258 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. But, I mean, they blow out University of Louisiana Monroe, who, might I add, has the best quarterback name of all time.
What is it?
Oh, you've heard it before. If you haven't, it's going to blow your mind when I say it. But General Booty, 8 for 19, 42 yards with an interception.
Dude, I saw that, and I didn't even think
That's
that was I thought it was a nickname.
His name is literally, he's a white dude. His name is General Booty.
Wow.
And it's Booty.
I got a feeling
it's literally booty.
Yeah. I remember seeing it. I swear I thought it was a nickname.
It's just insane. Yeah.
Now that I know it's real, I got a good feeling his parents are people that participate in Civil War reenactments, maybe.
They might, and probably for the southern side of things. But anyways, so that was a wild game just because we got to see the beginning of the new Manning era.
He's
see.
Fast, man. He's real
That's
fast.
the thing. He's got his dad's legs and his uncle's other capabilities. Peyton Manning's giant forehead. Eli's love.
Definitely,
of
man. The Manning
things.
look is a strong, dominant gene because they all look the same.
They all got that look.
Yeah. Have you been watching much of the Manning cast?
I haven't. I've heard it's a little bad this year.
I haven't heard.
I've heard it's
kind of
it's like a little bit of a downturn. Oh my god, my phone's on silent. You guys just heard a sports thing happen.
Whoa.
But yeah, no, I haven't really watched it. Slow down,
man.
dude. Jesus.
Loud motorcycle. Let's see if there's another really good game coming up. Oh, Louisville versus Notre Dame. That'll be a really good one.
Oh yeah, I did want to talk about the Tar Heels just getting Tar Heeled.
Dude, and it was against they even brought it up on PTI. It was against like some no-name school. James Madison.
Yeah, James Madison University puts a 70 burger on the Tar Heels.
That's nuts, dude. Drake May, go back to school.
Apparently, man. Jeez.
You got anything else for NCAA?
Not really, but I wanted to give a little bit about the James Madison game because that is nuts. But let's see. All right, right, here we go. 70-50. So UNC came
No
back.
defense, man. Dude, that is a college basketball score if I've
Dude, that's
ever
a college football score if I've ever heard one. Dude.
Wow.
70-50.
Damn.
Mac Brown, I forgot Mac Brown's the coach of the Tar Heels now.
Damn, he's getting fired. That's the
yeah.
old Texas coach. He's the one that coached Vince Young.
Yep. So yeah, JMU put a 70 burger on UNC, which that's sad. At home too. Oof. Aish. That sucks for you. Tie Heels, stick to basketball with your goods. But yeah, let's where are we at? We should probably do the music break.
I think so. I was just about to say, good call.
All right. Well, we are featuring Beta Ray this month, and this is the last week that we will have Beta Ray on.
Thank you for letting us feature your music, Kyle, and the
Yes.
rest of the band.
Kyle, we appreciate you guys. Very nice of you to allow us to feature your music. We love to hear it. Getting the island vibes, getting a little airy, you know. But this next song is called Red Flags, and if you haven't yet, please make sure to go like and follow Beta Ray on all things streaming, and go figure out where they're at on their website so you can
They play a
find-
lot of live shows around here in Denver.
Yep. They just played one this last month at Cervantes.
Yep.
But make sure that you go like and follow them, and do the same for us if you like Beta Ray and you're just now hearing about us through them. So we will be right back. The name of this song is Red Flags.
I should have seen it in the limelight. I would have known it by the nightlight. You were the one who would be taking me home. I should have seen it in the morning. I would have felt it in the low light. You were the one who would be taking my soul. Oh, and never be you and I again. You made that clear when you gave in and betrayed the trust we had. Never be you and I again. I should have seen it in the limelight. I would have known it by the nightlight. You were the one who would be taking me home. I should have seen it in the morning. I would have felt it in the low light. You were the one who would be taking my soul. Oh, I'd never be you and I again. Made that clear when you gave in and betrayed the trust we had. Never be you and I again. She don't give a
back, ladies and gentlemen, for the second part, if you will, of the Fringe Fanatics podcast, episode 102. We appreciate you guys tuning in, very much so. And we are going to continue on down the rest of sports as we are going to move into the old MLB.
Yeah, I think
it's time.
With less than 10 games left, now we'll finally do a deep dive into the MLB.
We've done a few. It's been a busy year, dude. There's been a lot going on.
I ain't mad about it. It's not like a lot of people really follow it. I've been more into baseball than ever. That's our job, is try to get other people to catch the bug. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of exciting stuff to talk about. Just like hit the soundbite.
Oh my God.
Vaughn, a juvenile delinquent in the offseason in his major league debut.
I'm gonna light your ass up, Pete.
Vaughn into the windup in his first offering. Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he tried that corner and missed, but we won't miss.
Something that Ohtani doesn't know how to do.
No, he just steals bases a lot and hits a lot of home runs.
Yep. He had possibly the greatest game of any MLB player ever. So I believe it was Friday last week. Maybe it was Thursday. I can't quite remember. I was driving home, driving to the dispensary, and I'm on Twitter. And I had just seen earlier at work that he had just stolen the base. So I was kind of like following it on Twitter. And he had reached the 50 club. And then it said that, he's just 2 homers away from the first 50-50 club. And then but like 15 minutes later, I get a notification. He hits the homer. He's at 49 homers. And then I feel like within a blink of an eye, there's 50. Yeah. And then later in the day, when I get back on Twitter, he hit a 3rd homer. Unreal.
Yeah,
9 RBIs on the day.
Oh, I think he had 10.
Okay, I wasn't sure when I said it.
I think it was 10. But so here it is. So he hit his 50th in the 7th, his 51st in the 9th. He finished 6 for 6 with 10 RBIs and 3 stolen bases.
And I will
talk about manufacturing runs. The guy's just a run power plant at this point.
And it's a testament to him, because the team that was playing him, I can't remember right now. I'm pissed, but I really do give a lot of credit to the manager, because you remember in our heyday of watching Bonds and McGuire and all those times, and Sammy
it was the Marlins.
Yeah, okay,
Miami Thursday. You were right.
Yeah. A lot of people say, and a lot of times in these cases, sometimes, and it happens a lot in baseball, where that pitcher, they don't want to be the guy to give that up, because they're going to be known as, he hit the 50th homer off of this guy. So they were really trying to get him out. And the big thing, too, is remember when the whole steroid craze and Mark McGwire and the summer of Sosa and everything?
Yeah.
Those guys were getting walked constantly. I mean, at the end of Bonds' career, man, it was just like he never...
They would walk him with the bases loaded.
Oh, all the time.
It's better to get 1 run than 4.
4. Yeah. But they didn't want to... And the manager's comments afterwards I thought was awesome. He's like, we're not in this... I can't remember it verbatim, but he was basically saying, like, this is baseball. We're in it to try to get you out. And even though he knew, he was like, he's a great hitter and he could hit a homer. And that just goes to show you the talent and excellence of Shohei Ohtani, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I cannot believe, and this is not just like one game. I mean, what he put together just recently, I mean, I think this, without a doubt, sealed up the MVP. Despite Aaron Judge
for sure
having 55 home runs, man. Because Ohtani's at 53 right now.
Well, I mean, thankfully they're in opposite leagues now. Or you mean MVP of everything?
No, the AL MVP. They only have AL and MVP.
NL, yeah, but Ohtani's NL now.
Oh, you're right. Excuse me. Okay, so he would be
still could be
I'm
both.
so used to him being on the Angels.
I know.
Sorry.
It's things have changed.
Yeah. But yeah, so he would be the NL MVP.
And also the first, since now that we've gone full DH, he's now the first
That's true.
NL player as a DH to win it. So,
and
we were talking about this the other day. There's still a chance that this man may come back and pitch in the playoffs. Yeah. He's been throwing bullpens. I mean, he's like there.
Wow.
So if he does that and comes in, like imagine the year to have this type of hitting season and then come in and be the reason why your team wins it all.
I mean, he's
You
a
know,
lights
like,
out
how
pitcher
crazy
too.
would that
His
be?
career ERA is fantastic.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, Ohtani. I mean, we're seriously looking at possibly the best baseball player of all time. I mean, we were just talking about Babe Ruth. That's why we thought it was fitting to use that. But what Ohtani's doing right now, stealing bases, hitting homers. He's at 123 RBIs right now. I mean, the guy's doing stuff that nobody else is doing.
Yeah.
First, we're going to do a little deep dive into this because the playoffs will be starting, I think, within a week and a half or so.
I think there's less than 8 games left for most teams.
So first we're going to hit the stats because those will be closing up before long, and then we'll hit the standings and kind of touch on the scores throughout today because there's a few playoff implications going on. The Braves and Mets are playing today.
That's a huge series.
It is. The Braves couldn't miss the playoffs because of the fucking
same
Phillies.
with Detroit. Detroit could go from winning their division to maybe not even getting into the playoffs.
There's some close races in there, but luckily my Royals have clinched. They're in it.
Yeah, Royals are in.
All right. So,
Yankees are in.
let's start with my boy, Bobby Witt Jr., leading all MLB with the batting average. Dude, 10 points over the next guy. He's at .334. Am I saying? It just seems weird to say it like that. I don't like. It's like a batting average of 334. Okay, say it like that sounds better. Idiot.
Just say 334. Don't put the point in there because then you start
I
thinking
know.
about decimals,
I
and
know.
we're
It's
like
the Dewey Decimal System.
we learn math in America. We're not good at it. Okay, like we just gotta deal with that.
It's weird, but that's a pretty damn good average to finish the year off with.
Yeah, and especially when you look at Vladimir Guerrero Jr. behind him, 10 points less.
Yeah.
So
Not even a close race.
He's definitely kind of jumped up there in that regard.
Yep.
In terms of pitching leaders in the AL, we have Tarek Skubal with Detroit with 18 wins.
Yeah.
Tied with Chris Sale of Atlanta.
Chris Sale's at 18-3 on the season.
That's
man.
nuts.
I don't know what Scubal's loss record is, but dude, I think Chris Sale's definitely going to lock
I'll tell
up.
you, it's 18-4.
Oh wow! So I think Sale could get the Cy Young, depending on the
Possibly,
rest of the year.
but I want to see 2.38 is Chris Sale's ERA. Tarek Skubal's is 2.39. So yeah, I don't even really know why he's technically in first, other than the fact that it's just because he's tied for first with wins. That's why.
Yeah.
I'm an idiot. It's
well,
fine.
it's going to go to Sale probably for the Cy Young.
Sale. That one
Yep.
song.
What a good acquisition! This is his first year in Atlanta, coming from Boston though.
Yeah, especially when you look at earned run average, he is leading, like I said just a second ago, by 0.01 over Tarek Skubal with 2.38.
And then you got Zach Wheeler, the ace for the Phillies, who just locked up the NL East division last night.
Yeah.
Yep. And
Big party.
All right, let's go down to the home runs. This is no question here. Aaron Judge. He went into a little bit of a slump recently. I think he hit one the other day, but he's finishing, or right now he's at 55 home runs. Ohtani's at 53. And then Anthony Santander from Baltimore is at 43.
Santander.
Yep. And look at this,
Salamander.
dude. Juan Soto, the freaking bankroll of the Yankees, at 40 homers, who bats right before Aaron Judge. You imagine being a pitcher, being like, here, let me go up against these.
Who should we walk?
That's Maris and Mantle right there, dude.
Yeah, seriously.
Yep. You want to take RBIs?
Yeah, I'll take RBIs. Give me 1 second. Let me get back there. As I went away from it and now can't find it. Now I found it. All right. RBIs. We've got Aaron Judge in the American League with 138, followed by Shohei Ohtani with 123. Moving over to the NL, we have Ryan Helsley with 47 and Emmanuel Clase with 46.
Saves.
Oh, those are saves.
Saves,
I jumped
yeah.
over to saves. Oh, my God.
I was wondering what you were doing.
I thought, honestly, when I was looking at this, it was American League and National League, not realizing that I said Shohei Ohtani after Aaron Judge. So we both have screwed up now on Shohei Ohtani being in the National League. So.
I know. It's still going to get used to it.
Yeah, so saves. Yes, I was talking about saves. Ryan Helsley, 47. Emmanuel Clase, 46 for Cleveland. But let's move into hits, Chad.
Yeah.
Take it over.
Bobby Witt Jr., man, is 206 for hits. And then Luis Arraez for Miami. I think he just get suspended, or I thought he just got in trouble recently.
He
Can't
might
quite
have.
remember. But he's at 196, and then Vlad Guerrero Jr. at 194.
Yes,
I
moving.
think we should talk about stolen bases.
Yes, because you've got Ellie De La Cruz, who we all thought was going to steal 100 bases at the rate he was going halfway through the year. He's kind of taken a little bit of a downturn, but Mr. Shohei Ohtani is close behind Ellie De La Cruz's 65 stolen bases with 55.
He might
He's
get to
obviously not
60.
going to catch him, but there is talk that Shohei Ohtani, like, we are on 60-60 watch.
Yeah. I mean, he's got 53 homers right now. It's definitely possible. A 60-60 club, no one is ever going to touch that.
No. Yeah, you're talking about stuff. It's like Babe Ruth stuff. Like, nobody thought the majority of Babe Ruth's records would be touched.
Yeah.
And we are seeing someone who might, he might get to put a little feel on it, if you will, some of his records.
Very true. All right,
Yes,
now
sir.
let's get down to the standings. Chris, you take the American League. Or I'll take the American League. You do the National
Okay,
League.
don't just, whatever you do, just do it.
I know. Sorry.
It's like Nike, just do it.
All right, so Yankees clinched. They're at 92 and 64, 6 games up on the Orioles. And then Central Division, the Cleveland Guardians have clinched, 7 games up on the Tigers. And the Royals are
But this
at,
is what I admit before.
Yeah.
You were going to say the Royals. Like, you look at the standings here.
Yeah.
83, 82, 81. I mean, it's very easy to lose a lot of positioning in these last few games.
Man, that's just close. 3 teams right there.
I
Right
think
within
Minnesota
a
and the
game
Tigers
and a
are playing, actually.
half. I do have the scores up, too. Let's see.
Oh, my God. Oh, it's Minnesota and Miami. I lied.
Yeah.
For
Or
some reason,
Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
Detroit and Tampa Bay.
Yeah, that's what I meant. They're both playing Florida teams. But anyways, continue.
Yep.
That's the one to keep an eye on, though.
Yeah. So, in the West Division, the Astros, they haven't clinched yet. They're 4 games up on the Mariners. There's a chance the Mariners can make a run for it. But the Rangers, Athletics, and Angels have been eliminated. Wow, the Athletics finished with a better record than the Angels. Look at that.
Look at them go, man. Way to go, Athletics.
I know, man.
I saw how their owner apologized to the fans and said, we tried.
Yeah.
We tried, guys. It didn't work. But let's move into the National League, where the Philadelphia Phillies have clinched. They are at 93 wins, 64 losses, followed by the New York Mets at 87 and 69 losses, followed closely by the Braves at 85 and 71. Moving to the Central, we've got the Milwaukee Brewers, 89 wins, 67 losses. Everybody else
Boy, they
in the
own
Central
that
has
division,
been
huh?
eliminated. The Cubs have been eliminated, the Cardinals have been eliminated, the Reds have been eliminated, and the Pirates have been eliminated.
Crazy.
Now let's move to the West, where the Dodgers are sitting at 93 and 63. The Padres, 90 and 66, and the Diamondbacks at 87 and 70, and the Giants and Rockies have been eliminated. Yeah. Rockies have a chance, guys. If you want to bet on the Rockies, there's a chance they might not lose 100. They've got 6 games left, and they need to win 3 to not lose 100 games. So
It's possible.
If you want to play some terrible bets, losing bets, that's the one to pick right there. See if they can
Put
lose
your money on the
or
Rockies. We'll
win
see how that
less
goes.
than 100.
We do have the playoff picture as it stands right now. If the season was to end today, the 6 seed Tigers would take on, this is in the American League, the 6 seed Tigers would take on the Astros, the 3 seed. Then the 5th seed Royals would take on the 4 seed Orioles. And then the ALDS, it would either be the Tigers or Astros versus the Guardians. And then either the Royals or Orioles versus the 1-seeded Yankees.
The Yankees.
All right. The National League, the wild card round would be the D-backs versus the Brewers. And then the Mets at Padres. That seems like it's pretty much sealed up. Doesn't really look like there's any question on those. And then the NLDS, it would either be the Diamondbacks or Brewers versus the Dodgers. And then either the Mets or the Padres versus the Phillies.
The Phillies.
Yep, there you go. So playoff baseball starting up soon.
Yeah.
I love baseball in October. Cold. This guy's got to wear thermals, and the weather becomes an issue.
And then who knows, what's going to happen. You could have a Mr. November again.
Could you imagine Ohtani if the Yankees and Dodgers make it to the World Series, going to that tiny Little League stadium, just cranking
hammering
it out?
like 17 home
And
runs
he hits
in a
the right field all the time.
time. Yeah.
Oh, man, that'd be great.
Well, before we move on to F1, we do need to mention our sponsor.
You're right. Let's do it now.
Yes, SDR Collectibles. They are our first legit sponsor. They are people that we work with at Small & Company, aka
Good
Beacon.
people.
Good people. Dan and Stephanie have started their own collectibles business, and I said it right this time, so they can't give me shit for that, because SDR Collectibles
Yep.
is our first sponsor. And they do have a show coming up, and I believe Dan is posting product photos right now as we are live.
Yeah.
As he told me about just a second ago.
Tons of football cards, tons of Funko Pops, you name it. If you got a nephew or a kid that wants, I got a friend that his kid loves Michael Jordan. So I had Dan pick me up a Michael Jordan card like a year or two back.
There you go.
It's always a good source.
They do have an event coming up. It is, well, it's not really coming up. It's in 2025, but their first event will be March 22nd and July 19th, and it's at 10345 Park Meadows Drive in Lone Tree. There's free entry. If you're a VIP, you can get in early at 9 a.m. Otherwise, it is 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. They will be slanging all their wares there, whether it be the Funko Pops, the collectible cards, whether it's Magic the Gathering or whatever it is, or just sports cards. I'm sure they will have it. So get at them for all your collectible needs. And we thank SDR Collectibles for their contribution.
Thank you.
Greatly appreciated. Let us continue on into F1 before we get on out of here.
Did you watch Ferrari yet?
I haven't. I'm going to
gonna
do
ask
that
you.
because I forgot to mention I'm batching it this week until Sunday. Meryl is house sitting, so
That's perfect time to watch
probably going to watch the new Top Gun, which
it. You haven't seen that yet?
Nah, dude, I'm going to tell you
Like
why.
2 years behind.
I'm afraid it's going to hurt my feelings. I'm afraid
What?
I've put the original on such a pedestal that if I watch the second one, it's going to ruin the first one. For
Well, you
me.
are a real naysayer when it comes to sequels, so I could see that.
So I don't know. I probably will watch it this week, though. But
It's badass, dude.
Yeah, I'm going to be watching Ferrari. But I don't know if you heard this, Chad. There's a little bit of drama in F1 as
News came out today, though.
Max Verstappen hints at quitting.
Like altogether?
He might quit
Whoa.
because the FIA fined him for swearing.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Apparently, he swore during a news conference. He used the word fucked in relation to the performance of his car, which was deemed to have breached the FIA's International Sporting Code. They slapped him on the wrist. I believe he got fined as well. But yeah, he kind of was like, I might get out of here.
Damn.
Because he's that mad about it.
Well, he's kind of accomplished enough to where it'd be pretty easy for him.
Yeah, because this was his quote. For sure, these kind of things definitely decide my future as well, he said. When you can't be yourself or you have to deal with these kinds of silly things. I think now I'm at the stage of my career that you don't want to be dealing with this all the time. It's really tiring. Of course, it's great to have success and win races, but, once you've accomplished all that, winning championships and races, then you just have to have a good time as well. Of course, everyone is pushing the limits. He does have a tendency to kind of speak a little off the cuff, if you will, in terms... Because it's weird, because F1's a little bit like golf in terms of, there's, this gentlemanly side of it. But not always.
Mind your P's and your Q's.
And I think he is kind of finding out that the FIA will kind of take a poop on you if you're not falling in line. And unfortunately, I think the loss of Adrian Newey, one of their chief engineers, is one of the big reasons as to why they are struggling so much this year. He is probably, I don't know if it was McLaren or Ferrari that he's going to sign with.
Are you talking about the news that came out today?
Was that it?
Yeah, he signed with McLaren.
He did?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. See, I didn't even know this because
Yeah.
this was rumors before I heard it. He was possibly going to go to either competitor, and they're saying him leaving is the reason as to why Red Bull can't keep up anymore.
His name is Courtenay.
No, I'm thinking somebody else.
Okay, yeah. Red Bull's head of race strategy will leave his role to join McLaren as sporting director.
Okay, that's not the same guy.
Okay, yeah.
Adrian Newey is the guy that I'm talking about.
But I thought that was pretty interesting. A guy leaving Red Bull to go to McLaren.
Well, look
The
at
rival.
the way things are going, man.
Pretty crazy.
There's definitely been a shift. Oh, Adrian Newey went to Aston Martin.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, but he was the one who basically with Max Verstappen have kind of been like Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes, so to speak.
I see.
Like those two have kind of worked
That's a good way to put it.
so much in conjunction that they kind of became the team. And now one of those has left, and you're kind of left thinking like, well, what's the future going to bring now that he's gone and we put all this money into Max Verstappen, and now his, safety blanket, so to speak, is kind of left, and he's struggling.
I can't wait to see the new season of Drive to Survive after
It's going
this
to be
season.
really
It's going to be
good.
way
The
better.
Red Bull side of things is going to be wild.
Be juicy, yep.
Because they've been riding the wave of being the best, and they no longer are. And it is quite compelling to watch
We
this
haven't
play
even
out.
talked about the race from last
Yeah.
week. Lando
Let's get into
Norris in Singapore just dominated.
He did, and this was the first time that he had the pole and then kept it through the first lap, because normally that first turn for him has turned into, no pun intended, quite the nightmare for him, as he continually will get beat out going into that first
I think it was like
corner.
4 or 5 poles he's had this year.
Yeah.
He didn't win any of them.
So yeah, it was good to see, and he drove one hell of a race.
Won by 20.8 seconds, I think.
Yeah, I think Daniel Ricciardo ended up getting driver of the race because there was kind of like a weird late pit stop for him that they put new tires on.
Then he got the fastest lap.
It was almost like, hey, go show him you can still drive, because you're not going to drive for us anymore.
Yeah.
It was kind of like that was his audition, if you will, for the rest of the pack in terms of who he'll be driving for next year. But
Well, his friendship with Max is pretty cool, because Max has really supported him for a long time.
you gotta love him. Daniel Ricciardo, I think, who is it? I think Josh Allen or somebody's really good friends with Daniel Ricciardo.
Oh, no shit? That's
I
cool.
forget who it is,
That's
but there's
badass.
somebody who's like super good friends with him in the NFL. But yeah, Daniel Ricciardo, that was cool. But Lando Norris is the story of the race, as he just dominates, and Oscar Piastri ends up taking third on the podium behind Max Verstappen. But Max had no chance.
No.
Once Lando took off, that was the end of it.
Second, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
it was Lando, Verstappen, Piastri.
Yep.
And now, as the McLaren team continually every week is finishing top 5 together, they are going to catch Red Bull. I think we've got
To catch Red Bull?
Yeah.
No, they've already passed Red Bull.
Well, I just meant in terms
drivers.
of both everything, drivers and the
so
constructors.
right now, I was just on drivers. He's 52 points ahead of him. Max is 52 points ahead of Lando in the driver's standings. Well, I mean, Piastri's just, would that be 42 points behind Lando. So, I mean, he's close there. But in the constructors, they really increased their lead after that win. They're sitting at 516 points, and then Red Bull's at 475.
Yeah.
So they're pulling ahead.
Yeah, and it's going to be tough because Perez keeps finishing in the bottom half of the top
Yeah, it was
10.
like 10th or something. No, 13th.
Yeah,
I think, in that race.
if he does finish in the top 10, and I don't know how they're going to be able to keep up at this point. So
I don't know. And they're going to have a long break because they're finally coming. I wish we'd go to this, man. This would be a dream come true. They're going to be coming to Austin. They get a long break, and they won't be there till October 20th is when that next race is.
Damn.
Yep.
It's going to be good. I mean, we still got the Las Vegas race this year, I believe. So
Yeah. That's
that one's
the
gonna be
third
fun.
to last one. But
Yeah.
the next one is Austin.
So yeah, excited. This year has been wild. Like Chad said, the next edition of Drive to Survive is going to be quite entertaining.
Very dramas.
Which, if you haven't yet, go check it out. I mean, that's one of the reasons why we got into F1. We just kind of started talking about it because it was a show that, was on Netflix, and we're like, it's a sports show. Let's check it out. Everybody's talking about it, and now we're fully invested.
There was a podcast I was listening to recently that had on one of the Top Gear guys, Chris Wallace. I want to say his name. Damn it.
Oh,
Chris Harris. Chris Harris.
Were you talking about Joe Rogan?
Yeah, and so
yeah,
it was really fascinating because they were talking about F1 because it's coming to Austin, and it was great because they were basically just saying how much better it is than NASCAR. I mean, the engineering that goes into it is levels and levels above NASCAR, to where these guys, and they were talking about the tires and how serious it is. Like, that is
tires
everything.
Alone. Oh, that I know. I actually listened to most of that one, and he was like, the thing people don't realize, like, tires in and of themselves is like a whole other like field of like scientific discovery in terms of driving.
Yeah. And you think about all the turns they have to make rather than just going around in a circle for NASCAR. I'm not dogging those guys, what they do, it's, extraordinary in its own right. But the thing of it is like, though, I loved the way Chris put it on the podcast, where he was like, if one of those guys from Red Bull, one of their top engineers, was to just go to like Ford and just like work for them, it would transform. They're so smart, and how much money goes into one of their teams.
Yeah.
I mean, it's astronomically more. It's like a whole economy compared to like what Denny Hamlin is doing or something like that. I mean, this is engineering at its finest. I love it, man. That's why I like Ferrari, because it was like, let's figure out, and it's just like good guy shit. I don't know. Everybody does it. It's great. It's not just guy shit, but the thing of it is, it's just like just human engineering, where it's like, how can we make this car go as fast as it can?
Yeah, and that is what's kind of cool about it. That's what's cool about NASCAR too. I mean, at the same time, like, they have all the same, like, nobody can do anything different. Like, it's car, and driver. The cars are the same. The only thing that's different is a driver. But there is just something about watching an F1 race, watching the strategies, the pit strategies, which that stuff does happen in NASCAR. But it's just the racing themselves. The courses and where the Grand Prix are held are way better.
Oh, they're so cool, man.
Dude, left turns, dude, I get over it. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, my God,
dude, I love anytime NASCAR does a road course. It's awesome.
I'm all about that. Watkins Glen, that's fantastic. But you get an oval course.
Daytona, Talladega, it's kind of boring.
And if I need to take a nap, that's what I'm going to put on.
Yeah, it's almost like basketball. Just watch the last, like, 4 or 5 laps, the last 4 or 5 minutes of the game, and you don't even need to watch the rest of it.
Yeah.
You don't need to watch the first 3 quarters. Just watch the last 5 minutes, and you'll get a good handle of what's going on.
Hannah's brother's really into dirt racing. Like, he takes the kids to dirt racing.
Dude, I worked
Missouri.
with this kid, Redmond Bohannon. Shout out to him. He races flat track on a motorcycle. Dirt.
Wow.
And, dude, it's drifting.
That's
Dude,
insane.
They're driving, and their wheels pinned, and the bike sideways, full throttle. They have one gear. There's like,
just laying into it, man.
Sideways the whole way around a circle track. Watching, I'm like, dude, that's nuts.
That's badass.
But I mean, you watch, like, Grand Prix, crotch rocket racing. That shit's insane.
Yeah, that's cool, man.
But yeah, F1, I love it.
It's my favorite, dude. It's just, and you look at these cars. I mean, they're not just like, they're manufacturers of cars that have been the best at it. You look at this: McLaren, Ferrari, Mercedes, Aston Martin, Haas. I mean, these guys have been the best manufacturers of engines for almost a
Jaguar
century.
and Ford are getting back into it next year.
Oh, wow. I'd like to see Ford, see what they can do.
Jaguar, same thing. Ford owns Jaguar. But, well, it's that time for the man, the myth, legend himself.
We do. We need to put a bow on it.
We need to put a bow on it. We need to get out of here. It's right on the dot in terms of being on time.
It is.
Mr. John Daly is about to hit it hard, man. Far. Long. Gone. Hit it hard. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. It's the end of episode 102. We are going to keep this train rolling right along. But the daily dose of excellence that we feature at the end of every episode is going out to a little bit of a homer one for me. Mr. Charlie Blackmon also has one of the greatest walk-up songs of all times, The Outfield, Your Love.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Great name for a band, too, in terms of a baseball walk-up song, The Outfield.
Oh, hell yeah.
Do you know what song I'm talking about?
No.
Oh. Yeah. Oh, we'll play a little bit of it here in a bit. But he is hanging it up after 14 long seasons, and might I add, very, very long seasons with the Colorado Rockies.
Yeah, this guy's commitment, man. I mean, you don't find two high school sweethearts with more loyalty than what he's got.
Yeah, and this man, Mr. Chuck Nasty himself, showed up to the Rockies 14 years ago, a clean-shaven young man, and shortly into his career, he was the bearded bomber, the leadoff man for the Rockies, where he spent much of his career leading off. Nolan Arenado himself said, one of the best leadoff hitters I've ever been around, announced that he is going to retire on Sunday after his 14 seasons with the Rockies. A tenure only surpassed by the one, the only, Mr. Todd Helton, another guy who played his entire career
Rockies
for
legend.
the Rockies.
Yep.
Unfortunately for Charlie, he never got to really taste the same things Todd did. I mean, Todd got to go to the World Series in 2007, also got to deal with the just that incredible run up to that World Series where a month prior they were not even going to make it, and then they ended up making it, and then they got swept by the Red Sox for their second win. It was sad, but it meant a lot to us Rockies fans, and to be a fan at that time, and then to watch Charlie's career just kind of go through the doldrums of, just mediocrity in terms of a team, and to see a guy go out there every single day and give it his all, even knowing that this season was probably going to be another lost season. It was cool to watch. He's one of those guys who's a dying breed in terms of athletes that are going to play their entire career with one team. It's gone.
You will
now.
never see this.
It's gone.
Yep.
Yeah, they're going to go to the highest bidder. Unfortunately, that's just the way it goes. But the main reason I wanted to bring up Charlie is because he wrote an incredible kind of retirement post to the fans, kind of explaining his stuff. And I wanted to read it to you guys because it's pretty cool. As a kid, you play the game because you love it, like nothing else matters. I still play the game that way, but I don't feel like a kid anymore. My perspective has changed. I have been blessed to call the city of Denver and the Colorado Rockies my baseball home for the entirety of my career. I am grateful for the support of this organization, my teammates, and most of all, Rockies fans. It is with a thankful heart and a career's worth of memories that I choose a new path. Today, I am a ball player looking over the fence into uncertainty. For what is behind me, I am grateful. My cup runs over. I have been blessed more than any man should expect. I was afforded the opportunity by my parents and sister who supported my passion have always been there. My wife Ashley has continued to support my dream and worked so hard to give our kids the same opportunities I received. But most importantly, I have been saved by grace, and divine intervention has tilted the scales in my direction. I don't know what is on the other side of the fence, but I take solace in knowing one thing remains constant. Although names and faces will change, the game will continue to be played. I'll hop over that fence, pickle the beast, and embrace the next phase of my life. Charlie Blackmon.
Wow.
Felt like it was like an incredibly penned
Seems like he could be a writer.
That's what I'm saying. And I think the whole "I'll hop over the fence, pickle the beast," which is an kind of an ode to the Sandlot.
Yeah.
That's what the dog in the Sandlot was called, Beast.
Yep, I remember.
So yeah, I just thought that was a really cool way to put it. And I mean, if anything, dude, you've got a career as a writer for sure.
Yeah,
Because
no.
that was a cool way to end your career, man. And
that's
he's
a really-
got time left. He's 34, I think.
Yeah. It's
So he's-
born 1986. Yep.
Yeah. Oh no.
I said-
86?
He's 38.
Oh, damn. Never mind, dude. I mean, you probably do have a good few years left because, I mean, baseball players can play into their 40s. We know that. But there is that kind of thing. It's like, do I want to hang on and just play, or do I want to go out at, the top?
He's doing the right thing.
So hats off to Charlie Blackman. It was fun watching you play the game. You made it fun. Your persona was fun. And just the way you attacked the game was the way a lot of people should attack life. And that's just, have fun, man.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
He gave the Rockies 1,797 hits, 226 home runs, 797 RBIs, 148 stolen bases, and finished with a career average of 292. That's pretty damn good,
dude.
And my first Rockies game that I ever went to was against the Braves, and I saw him hit a home run.
Yeah.
I didn't even know really who he was. I was just like, damn, this guy's got a badass beard. And then cranks one out.
Dude. And I think, was it... I want to say Grandma's Boy, but that's not what it is. The one with Adam Sandler where he's got the kid. He adopts the kid.
Oh, Big Daddy.
Big Daddy. I wanted to say Daddy's Boy, and I was just stuck on Grandma's Boy.
Okay.
I think isn't there something he says, like, where baseball is, like, the only... or maybe it's not it. There's a movie where there's a saying that says baseball is the only sport where you can fail 3 out of 10 times and still make it into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I've heard that quote before. I don't
what
know
is
what
it?
movie that it's from.
Anyways, though, dude, it's true, man. It's much like life, dude. You're not gonna win all the time. Shit, you're lucky if you win a quarter of the time. But if you can win a third of the time in the MLB in terms of just being successful at bat, you will be a Hall of Famer. I don't think Chuck Nasty's going to be a Hall of Famer, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But he's a Hall of Famer in the hearts of the Rockies.
And he
fans.
will be in the Rockies Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I think next year they're probably going to do the Charlie Blackman Day, and I hope they retire his number. Hanging up there next to, Todd Helton,
number 19,
and of course number 42, which is retired in every MLB stadium.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So but that is gonna do it, ladies and gentlemen. We have reached the end of.
Hold on, real quick. Shit. I've got another just honorable mention for DDOE.
Okay. Oh, I know what you're gonna talk about.
Yep,
Mr. Mark Martin.
Yeah, I just want to give a good hats off to Mr. Mark Martin. He's going to be retiring at the end of this week, and it will be 40 years that he gave to Flesh. It's a printing press company.
Oh,
yeah.
I didn't realize it was a printing press company.
Well, I mean, it's not. They don't make printing presses. It's like, I know I always say it weird, but they print all kinds of different business forms and stuff like that. But he's ran a press for, I mean, pretty much 40 years. It's insane. Yeah, man. I think if somebody,
I hope they give him one hell of a send
talking about Blackman, who gave 14 years to the Rockies. Talk about loyalty, right 40. There. Yep.
One hell of a dedication.
He's going to go full-time into running his archery shop. That is
good for him.
Madly successful right now. So hats off to you, Dad, and really excited for your next chapter.
Yes, and if you haven't yet, make sure to go check out Mark Martin Archery, hailing out of Parsons, Kansas. They've got all your archery needs.
Yep.
And when you go by and say hi, make sure to tell Mark congrats on 40 years.
Yeah, 40 years.
With Flesh?
Yeah, Flesh.
Oh, well, congrats, man. That's one hell of an accomplishment.
I know.
I hope they give you one hell of a send-off for dedicating your entire life to them.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, they owe you a lot.
You deserve way more than what you're getting. That's for sure.
That's for sure. Well, hats off to Mark Martin. Hats off to Mr. Charlie Blackman. And hats off to you, Chad.
And hats off to you, buddy.
Yes, hats off to everybody.
Good episode.
We love each and every one of you. We'll be back next week, hopefully with a guest.
Yeah, I believe so. We're going to work on something.
We're going to figure it out. But we love each and every one of you. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, and follow on all things social media. We'll see you next week for episode 103.
All right. Farewell.
Toodles.